It's going to open the regular city Prescott council meeting to order. It's Monday, August 14th at 6 o'clock. Roll call. Lindsay?
Here.
Dar?
Here.
Pat?
Here.
Maureen?
Here.
Bailey?
Here.
Okay, and John is excused. Will everybody stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. Okay, the next item on the agenda is public comments. The City Council will receive public comments on any issue related to the agenda. Limited discussion by the council may take place. Okay, hearing none. So the next item is the consent agenda. The library board minute from June 15th, City Council minutes from July 24th, Police Commission from July 26th, Personnel Committee minutes from August 2nd, General cash fund balances, cash balances, paid invoices, approval of City Prescott organizational chart, special event permit, Healing Play Incorporated from St. Croix Bluffs on September 7th.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Does anybody want to have any discussion on it? Go
I have
ahead.
one question. On page 10 in the paid invoices, there's a vendor that I didn't recognize, and I just wanted to know what it was for Rush Media, and I wondered what WIKA's tournament rights fee was.
So I'm trying to find it. It's on page 10 of the paid invoice
Page
report.
10. At least that's where it was when, on my copy. At the very bottom.
I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure if that's a cable commission thing or if that's something else, so we'll have to do.
Yeah, okay, it might be cable. I wondered about that. Because I thought it must be something to do with athletics.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the next item on the agenda is reports of standing committees and commissions. Nothing for finance. Planning Commission. We had Planning Commission on August 7th. We had the public hearing for the approval of the zoning, Chapter 635. We had a lot of discussion. We had a lot of things to think about. What came out of it, the Planning Commission chose to approve it without the section C2. We had two approved, one disapproved, and one abstained. But that was the vote from the Planning Commission was to approve the zoning except for the C2. And they want to have further discussion on that. Want to leave the automotive thing out of it, but then the vote was like, well, we're going to leave this in and leave that in. I think we'll need to, well, when we get to it's on the agenda, we're probably going to need to send that back to Planning Commission for further review. That's what I got out of it. Then Carter put on a presentation to the Planning Commission on the public parking, or the paid parking. And we approved that to move forward to the to the council. Matt, did I miss anything?
Nope.
Okay, so then the next meeting is Tuesday, September 5th. Is that still going to be a go?
Most likely not. We don't have any items. However, if the ultimate decision is to move the zoning changes back to Plan Commission for further review, that would be one item to add to the agenda.
Okay. Right, Parks and Public Works, canceled meeting for Monday, August 21st. Do you have a tentative next meeting?
It will be the third Monday in September.
Okay. So, health and safety, from Monday, August 14th.
That's today.
For you?
That's me.
All right.
Yeah, so we just met today at 5 o'clock. There were 3 items on the agenda that we discussed. And the first item was having a proposed smoke shop ordinance, which we don't have any smoke shop ordinances at this time. And we want to have an ordinance in place to address not only the tobacco products, but also the CBD products, things like that are coming into play in other cities that we will be moving forward with to bring to council with that ordinance. The second item that we discussed in our meeting would be the junk vehicle and appliance ordinance, and this would move forward to council, and this would also be addressing commercial properties as well as residential properties. And then the third item that was on our agenda was security cameras down at the Prescott Beach because of all of the issues that we've had down there, and a significant increase in all sorts of things happening down there. But graffiti was the number one item that was discussed.
Okay, thank you. Your next meeting is Monday, September 11th. Personnel had their meeting August 2nd.
Yes. Bailey was excused, so, but we did review the new city org chart, which is in this packet for everyone now. And we completed the performance review for the city administrator. So I have the draft of that out to both Dar and Bailey. Bailey told me before the meeting started that she completed her remarks and it'll be back, and so we should have that done for the council and for the mayor this coming week.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Next meeting is Wednesday, November 1st
Right.
at 5 o'clock. Okay, the next item on the agenda is communications and new business. The public comments. Council will receive public comments on any issues not related to agenda items. Limited discussion by the council may take place. However, no action will be taken on any item, including receiving a written request, documentation, or possible action for future consideration. Okay, hearing none. Next item on the agenda is ordinance 5-23, amending and additions to chapter 635 zoning. Matt, would you like to take that?
Yes, thank you, Mayor and council members. If I can get this to work. There we go. So, ordinance 0523, amending and additions to chapter 635 zoning. This was back in our first meeting in June. We approved the Plan Commission to hold that public hearing. So just to give a quick brief overview of those changes that are within this proposed ordinance, 635 accessory dwelling units, added electrical vehicle charging stations, short-term rentals, architectural standards, and then mobile tower sitting, radio broadcast service facilities, communications services, support structures, and related facilities. Additionally, we looked at modifications in terms of signal receiving antennas, wind energy systems, wireless telecommunication facilities, and solar energy systems. Bed and breakfast establishments, reviewed and modified all of our zoning districts, landscaping, accessory uses, structures, fences, and hedges, traffic visibility, loading, parking, and access. One of the changes that we did add since our last meeting when it was approved to go to public hearing back in June, we are proposing one additional, major zoning change in terms of the R1 district. The former city code allowed for all existing single-family homes to be converted into duplex units once they were built. The new proposed code would allow for only 3 duplex conversions within a 600-foot linear foot of street frontage. Based on the analysis that we did, it wasn't comprehensive, but looking at the R1 district specifically, there are no areas where there are more than 3 within a 600-foot, so there would be no, if this change moved forward and moved through, there would be no legal nonconforming uses. The one exception, of course, is Palmetto, but that was approved as a PUD, so that actually has 38 duplex units within that development. That was approved as part of that PUD process. So zoning map changes, specifically an overview. R1, we're changing to R4, so this R1 is a mixed residential. The one that we just talked about would be changed to R4, which is single family, and this would be in the St. Croix Bluffs, Pine Ridge, and Great Rivers subdivisions. We did clean up zoning lines so that all the zoning districts matched with their property lines. Previously, we did have a couple areas where the zoning was actually being split within the middle of the property, so trying to clean that up so it goes with its primary use. We added PUD and Lower St. Croix National Scenic Riverway District as overlay, so you are able to tell now when looking at the zoning map exactly what was approved and how it was approved and what kind of zoning standards you have to do. And then finally, one thing staff is working on, we are working with the owner of the mobile home park to split their parcel into 2. Currently, right now, the previous or current zoning map has that parcel split in the middle. That parcel is one contiguous, so we're working with them to have that parcel split into 2 parcels, so this would allow the northern area that faces Highway 10 to remain commercial, and then the other area south would be remaining mobile home. So, as the mayor already stated, the Plan Commission recommendation approved by a 2-to-1 vote with 1 member abstaining at their public hearing on August 7th. Their recommendation was to keep all changes except for restoring the principal permitted uses under 635-24 Highway Commercial C2. So this would restore to read as follows. Principal permitted uses, all principal permitted uses of the Central Commercial District plus manufactured and mobile home service and sales of vehicle and equipment sales and service establishments, warehousing, wholesaling, and storage establishments. The previous proposed zoning changes were principal permitted uses, all principal permitted uses of the Central Commercial District. Under accessory uses, we removed dwelling units as part of the principal building, not to exceed 50%. We added essential services, added an electrical vehicle charging station in accordance with Article 12, warehouse, which did not include the ability to put in mini storage facilities, structures, and buildings, wholesale facilities. Under conditional uses, we removed proposed transit travel trailer parks and campgrounds, and we added vehicle and equipment sales and service establishments. So before you tonight is the consideration of the first reading of the ordinance 05-23 amending and additions to Chapter 635. There are a number of options in terms of how we would like to move forward. First, you could approve the ordinance to 05-23 with the recommended changes from Planning Commission. 2, you could approve the ordinance 05-23 unedited, or you could pass the ordinance to a second reading on August 28th, 2023. Or additionally, you can make any additional changes or edits to the ordinance and send it to a second read on August 28th, 2023. Or you could outright deny the changes or move it back to a committee or commission for further review. So with that, I'll turn it over to the council and mayor for comments and questions.
How do you want to move back?
The Planning Commission wants to move the C2 back.
I make a motion and then move it back to
Well, then you,
the C2 then.
option 1 then.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, you want to move the whole ordinance back to the Plan Commission?
The C2 section.
Is that's what the planning commission expected, right?
That's what they moved forward to the council, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what we need to abide by.
And if I'm correct, that the idea is that that would not get changed. Maybe the idea is that it'll stay the way it was and come back to us as it originally was.
Or changes, it needs clarification from the planning commission if we're gonna send it back. The motion was made to, not make the changes, but then it was, well, maybe we'll take this out, maybe we'll take that out, but we're gonna, that's to leave it as is, and then send it back for clarification, and then
Okay.
bring it back as a separate.
Okay.
That's my motion.
Is it
What Rob said.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 5-23 with the option 1 from the changes from the planning commission. Is there any discussion on the motion?
Does that,
So just to be clear, the motion that you're stating is we're going to approve 05-23 with the recommended changes from Plan Commission, and then if we want to look at the C2 changes, that would be completely separate back at Planning Commission at a later date.
Yes.
Yes.
yeah,
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is approving an agreement between the City of Prescott and Cedar Corporation for $7,500 for the completion of the Scenic Byways Grant through the Wisconsin Department of Transportation.
make a motion to approve the agreement between the City of Prescott and Cedar Corp. and not exceed the amount of $7,500 to complete the Scenic Byways Grant.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the Cedar Corp. to do the grant for the scenic byways for $7,500. Is there any discussion on the motion?
I just want to make sure that this time we will be including those metrics for measuring the improvements that the,
They had asked for?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Okay.
Any other
Yes, ma'am.
discussion?
Refresh my memory if we, and I think Bailey may be able to do this. The section C, does that cut through any property?
So we would have to probably acquire some right-of-way areas and stuff, and so that's what,
Okay.
And they
that was
also
the
want
compromise,
metrics.
rather than going straight up Washington through that property.
we're still trying to get the access of the sidewalk up, but we would have to basically work with
Okay.
landowners to see if they'd be interested for right-of-way access, I believe it was, so,
Over on the far edge.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So,
I
but,
didn't think we owned that.
no, they just wanted us to include, they said to apply again, and there's more money available, and that we need to include, as Maureen stated, some additional metrics around that for travel.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, next item on the agenda is approval of improvements at Public Square through the Pierce County Public Health Built Environment Grant. Matt?
Thank you, Mayor. So the Lions Club and the Pickleball Association, we've been working with to expand our public square park. And as part of that, the Pickleball Association Lions Club worked together to put forth a grant to the Pierce County Public Health Built Environment, and were successful in receiving that grant. So there are a number of things in terms of a picnic table, bench, bike rack, shade structure that were included as part of that grant. And basically, tonight, we're just putting forth the images that are selected that we worked with the members, which are here tonight, as well. If you have any questions for them, but what would be happening is we would purchase those moving forward in 2024, and then we install them next spring as part of the pickleball project that we did. So with
I
that,
think
I'll
that's awesome.
turn it over to council for questions.
I have only one question, that at one point, we were going, maybe this is for Bailey, we were going to have benches that were the same throughout all the parks.
Yeah.
Are we still moving in that direction, or?
So we definitely want to try and keep as much of it the same as we can. I don't know if that would impact pricing or not. And the reason why we pick those is just because of the longevity of those products, because we want to pick stuff that's going to last. Obviously, we're a small town, so the whole point is basically to buy products that are going to last a long time. This is it looks kind of similar, but I don't know, Matt, you'd have to. The sun structures, we didn't really have anything like that scoped out in our original stuff. We did have bike racks, we did have,
The bike racks, I think, look the same.
yeah, those look the same, but
So the bike racks are the same as what's down by the riverfront. The
Yeah.
benches and the table, we specifically looked at this color blue because it matches more so with the Lions Club blue.
okay.
But it does not match with what's currently down at the riverfront. That's more of a wood-like product. We could look into that.
I like these. I think these look very durable, but I just wondered if we
Yeah.
if we were going to move,
Maybe we
choose.
theme pickleball stuff out. I would like it included because like we have basically kind of like our spec of like what we kind of want to pick from. So if we're gonna have like more pickleball courts put in, which I'm assuming we will at some point, that it gets spec'd out the same in the future because they
Yeah.
have it kind of just uniform basically is what we're kind of getting at, and that's what we were shooting for the project. So if we scope that in for the rest of the park areas where it's like up on the hill, maybe not down on the riverfront. We can
Yeah,
take that at the next parks meeting too to make sure that we just get it scoped in.
yeah.
So we can add that to the agenda, Matt. But I think they look nice.
Okay, I'm looking for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the improvements of Public Square to the Pierce County Public Health Built Environmental Grant. Is there any discussion on the motion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next item on the agenda is a notice of a nomination for Planning Commission. Michael Hunter, I contacted Mike. He's going to replace Rick Miller. Thank you. Rick is moving out of town, so can't fulfill his obligation. So I suppose we'll have a vote on that at next meeting. Matt?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the next item, I'm going to move other business in front of closed session. Unless anybody has an objection to that. Okay, so then we'll move to other business. The Fire Association intergovernmental meeting, August 16th. We have any discussion on that or anything?
What time is that at again? The time?
7.
7?
7 o'clock
At the fire hall.
at the fire hall, yeah? And then the other item is the library will be closed September 11th through the 30th
Yes.
for shelving improvement project. So everybody knows that it will be closed September 11th through the 30th. So is there any other business?
Are we going to post that on our website so that people can see it? Okay.
So as soon as the library has their own Facebook page, so we'll share their post and work with the library director, Krista Langer, to share that information.
Any other business?
There's a gentleman in the back.
My name is Pat McCotchick, and I'm with Mobile Home Park here in Prescott, Wisconsin. I was just wondering if you could give us a little education here, because for all of us, I think everybody here from the public is here dealing with this zoning issue, and it looks like everything's going to go back to the Planning Commission. So, for our knowledge, what is the next step here? It goes back to the Planning Commission. Will we then be notified again when this comes forward with a letter saying, is that how it works? Or if you could just sort of educate us on what's the process as we continue down this road with the C2 zoning.
Planning is an open meeting. so you can attend planning. And-
Okay.
And that would be at the next meeting that you're putting on the agenda potentially?
Yeah, so if we have a meeting in August, so from what happened, the changes were approved based on what were the planning commission recommendations. So those are what you approved tonight. And if the C2 changes want to be reviewed again, that would be back on planning commission for further discussion.
But
So it would be
how
on
do?
the next one.
Go ahead.
So it would be on the next planning. 'cause
So it
that's what
would
we
be on
asked
the
for.
very next planning commission, or
I mean,
how
We've
are we
done
going
this
to
for
stay informed?
2 years, I guess, at this point, I would just say, let's go with what we just approved, but I would have a talk with the mayor and the planning commission to see if we really
And
want to.
so- And what was just approved was to leave the language that is in there
Right.
now.
Yeah, and I think everybody here, show of hands here, that they're in favor of that. So, but we just need to know, how do we follow this from this point on as a community of C2 business owners? How do we know when this is going to come up again and we need to react to it and be involved in it?
So we publicly post all of our meetings online. So underneath agenda and meeting minutes, you can see our calendars that are coming up, and Matt posts basically the agendas that we have on there. I would encourage you to take a look at them. If you guys have things that you're concerned about, or if you want to know what's upcoming, that's where we post a lot of stuff. Facebook is not the place where we're posting a lot of stuff. Okay. We post
don't do
stuff on
Facebook.
our website. That is the place where you want to go. And if you
And
know,
is that also posted at the grocery store and here in the?
No.
Okay,
where
that
we,
isn't,
yeah, so
okay.
we establish basically where we post publicly, and one of those places that we have to post publicly is
Okay.
on our website,
Okay.
because it's all public information. All of
Okay,
it's public information. Unless we go into closed session, that's the only time that you can't be present. So
Mm-hmm.
any public meeting, you're more than welcome to attend, and any of those meeting agendas will be posted, and then meeting minutes will also be posted again.
okay. Well, my only question would be is, would the C2 owners then be notified like they were last time in a letter saying there's going to be a public hearing? Will this go back towards a public hearing
So-
again? Or is
If
this?
there's a public hearings get posted.
Okay,
So if it's going to go back for discussion, though, you'd want to go back to that planning committee meeting, just
So
if you want to hear the feedback of what that discussion is going to be. That would be my personal recommendation. I don't know
to
if
stay-
anyone else has any thoughts, but that's what I would do.
okay. Everybody in agreement with that then? Okay. And then will there be a second reading now still? Is that just an automatic second reading?
A second and a third.
And the second and the third reading won't be changing this necessarily, so we don't necessarily have to come to the second and the third reading because that's been taken
It
out?
could change, but most likely it's not going to.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Any other business? All right, so we have a closed session, deliberating, negotiating, purchasing public property, investing in public funds, or conducting other specified business whenever competitive bargaining or reasons require a closed session.
Motion to go into closed session?
I'll second that motion.
Lindsay? Dark?
Aye.
Pat?
Aye.
Rain?
Aye.
Bailey?
Aye.
Okay, we're in closed session. Thank you, everyone. We're going to have everybody leave.
Did you?
I have a name copy if you want it.
It's up to you.